Okay, hi everybody, here's Krystian from the Teamwork cast.
And this is Captain Nice, Belgian person, now living in Amsterdam.
And this is a Netrunner, it's not Netrunner Teamwork cast, this is now Trace 5, and welcome to the Dutch, not Dutch Nationals, the Belgian Nationals.
Indeed.
It seems like Dutch Nationals because there is a Dutch player on the top cut from our very own Trace 5. It is Kelfecil on the right.
And a very good friend at that.
Yes, and on the left side we have another good friend who is Django, who is from Cologne Meta. So it's kind of like a very friendly game. This first game from the top cut. Oh my gosh, everything is disappearing right now. It has been a very stressful day. I'm really glad that everything worked out as well as it did.
Yeah, indeed. It has been very stressful. It has been a long day. Kelfecil, I know, because I've been sleeping with him like the past day.
You've been sleeping with him.
I've been sleeping with him. I know he's very tired, but he's very glad to have made top cut. And I hope that he does well.
Kelfecil on the last place, on a 8th place, the lucky placing, and Jan, as he often turns out to be on the first place, he's playing CI, and Kelfecil is going to be playing. What is Kelfecil playing?
He's playing Smoke. He has a custom-made Smoke ID in front of him.
Okay, so it's Smoke against CI, a very modern matchup, I would say. Like this, you see this kind of matchup very often these days. All right, so I guess the game is almost about to begin. The players are. Kelfecil is being nice and he's trying to show us his hand, but of course it doesn't work. Everybody tries this. Even I try it myself when I play again on the board. Oh man, I just realized that the camera is crooked and I'm really my OCD is flaring up. But of course later on YouTube when we're gonna do the beautiful editing, you won't see. Okay, there's a handshake,
and we're off.
And we are off. So CI's ability is that. It has the maximum hand size is as big as the credit size,
Indeed.
The amount of credits. And of course, Smoke has one recurring credit, that is a stealth credit.
Which is better than a normal credit, because you can use it for all kinds of sexy things.
Yeah, it's really good. You probably will have the stealth suite going on. I'm expecting absolutely the stealth suite happening here. So there is a hedge fund from Jan. I'm just switching around a little bit to see if everything's working, but it seems to be working. What does the stream say? Chat, can you let us know if this is working? Oh, no memory card? What? Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Chat, can you let us know if this is working for you? Can you see things on the stream? I'm really freaking out right now. Okay, so we have that is a valid level clearance that was played. And Kelfecil installed a equivocation and tries to equivocate on the R&D.
He is known for this. He just wants to win as fast as possible, so there's no eyes in front of R&D, so he's just going to run fast. He's going to make CI draw a lot of cards, and he's just going to try to win off R&D. And
trashed MCI austerity policy there.
Mm-hmm. That is a must-trash asset, so he knows that very well.
Absolutely. But of course, it gave Jan so many draws right now, and it was not rewarded with an agenda right now.
Unfortunately not.
So equivocation, for you guys who are new to this, equivocation is this card where before you access R&D, you can expose the top card of R&D. Both players can see it. And then the runner still can decide that the corp draws this card, and then instead they will see the next top card when they access normally. Very, very strong card, like a new R&D interface, I would say, right?
Yeah, the equivocation has been doing so much work today. Like, I've been seeing it win games through left and right. It's extremely strong.
Yeah.
And it works with so many other cards that put pressure on R&D. Like, it's almost like a better R&D interface, I would say.
Absolutely. It's very nice. It's really nice that you can tutor. You can see that the R&D team from FFG is really learning how to design really cool cards, and that is one of them. Absolutely.
Indeed. Yeah, not surprisingly, now CI ices up R&D, not wanting to give Kelf any agendas from there. And so now Kelf is going to have to find an alternative way to get into R&D. And he's really low in credits, so...
Yeah, it's really bad situation. And even gets punished with a hard-hitting news there, getting 4 tags right there. That is, of course, very, very tough for him. So, I don't know, how does hard-hitting news in CI, what is happening?
I don't know what can be expected. He could be running something very spicy. He could maybe be running a boom. He has influence for it, but I don't think that's the case. I think he just wants to slow the runner down. Maybe have some like shenanigans in there somewhere.
Ever since ETF was kind of like phased out, CI seems to have become the standard HB identity.
Yeah, we saw one other HB deck today was Stronger Together, but it didn't do so well. It was mostly CI, and also at Worlds, CI has been ripping off stuff left and right.
But of course, Kelfecil showed us a little bit his starting hand, and he has the automation going on, and that allows him to bump out, get out from the credit hole that he was in.
Yeah.
But of course, still has the 4 tags.
Yeah, he will keep the tags. Fortunately, though, he has almost no resources. He's all about the speed. He has a lot of events. He has build script. He has process automation. He's all about going in fast and trying to win as fast as possible.
A very Kelfecil build.
A very Kelfecil build indeed. This is what he's all about. So
something I find interesting is that, well, there is one resource that he absolutely wants to have, and that's the Ment marker, and you can see it on his hand. And he probably really is disappointed that he probably cannot play this right now.
Yeah, and especially now with scarcity of resources, now Net marker costs 5 to install. Like, I don't see it happening anytime soon.
No, he will have to figure out some way to do this without Net marker, and that's going to be a really tough challenge for him.
Yeah, it's sure Smoke can work without Net marker, but it's extremely tough.
Yeah,
it's not going to be a good time for him.
Okay. So Jan is instead drawing more cards. I'm not sure what Jan's game plan is right now. I can tell what Kelfecil has in store, but Jan is still like a bit of a mystery. We see, of course, austerity policy. That's very common these days, especially in HP builds. But also the hard-hitting news was a weird choice. Like,
yeah, I don't know what he's going to do with those tags. Like, he landed the tags, and he cannot treasure any resource at this point because there are none. But what is his like follow-up to that hard-hitting news?
Maybe just the tags. Maybe just like saying like, or of course he might have splashed maybe something like psychographics even or something.
That's entirely possible. It is a very good card.
No.
Yeah. Kelfecil makes use of this time to remove all the 4 tags, so he has 1 credit, but he's no longer tagged.
All right. So he did that. Cost a lot of time. That was quite a time sink, and that might have given Jan the extra speed that he needs right now.
Yeah, this is a huge scoring opportunity for him. So yeah, and Kelfecil doesn't seem to have an SMC in hand. He does have a Diesel, but he doesn't have the credits to make use of an SMC. So yeah, I'm not sure how he's going to follow this up.
Okay, seems to be working. So we have a remote wheel that is being created here. I mean, that's the remote. It's kind of like probably an all-purpose thing. You can use it to score things. You can use it to install an MCA austerity policy. It's kind of like a very common occurrence these days.
Did we see what he installed in there?
I didn't see it, but if it's the austerity policy, I wouldn't be surprised.
Also, at this point, a Brian Stinson would be amazing.
Oh yeah, that would be also pretty tough. There's a violet level clearance that could be triggered. Oh, there's a lot of
and there's 2 hedge funds I think in there as well. Like
really good stuff there. And of course, Jan at an impossible amount of credits right now. He has 22 and now even more with the additional violet level clearance that he's playing.
Yeah, the credit differential is quite insurmountable at this point, I think. Of course, Smoke can do really nice stuff without having a huge credit pool. That's what she is all about.
That's true, and that's something that we see, especially Shapers doing a lot these days. They actually give the corporation money because they actually benefit from it with stuff like Beth, for example.
Indeed.
And so we might see actually Kelfecil playing Beth as well. Okay, so this is an SMC. That's a really good start. Again, Kelf has to start from scratch. The early aggression didn't really reward him at all. And he has to play catch up right now.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate there. Like, he ran R&D I think 3 times and he didn't get a single agenda. Just getting the one would have like given him a little bit of, like putting a little bit of aggression on the corp, like threatening like if I run a few more times with Maker's Eye or indexing, I might actually win. Yeah. But he didn't get a single agenda from there, and that must really sting.
Yeah, he must be really upset about this. Jan is a well-known player. This, he really keeps his cool on almost every situation. So he's we wouldn't see anything on his face if we saw him right now.
No.
Right, there's the Brian Simpson that you talked about. Yes, he put it on HQ though, so because it's an upgrade and you can put him anywhere.
Yeah.
And now comes the hurt play. Now he can play really powerful things.
Yeah. Now the credit differential, like it was big before, now it's gonna go really out of hand.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm considering maybe he's playing something like Sandberg.
That's entirely possible. And that's something like Smoke's breakers are very, very good, and stealth credits boosted to really big levels for just the 1 stealth credit. But at this point, if he rests a Sandberg and he has a Fairchild of like 12 strength or something, that's not something that Smoke can deal with.
The amount of credits that we're seeing here is obscene. So he used Stanson to remove Hedgerun from the game, gives him 9 credits. He removes Stanson he used the Stanson to remove Wild Level Clearance from the game, and that gives him, I don't know, I don't have the numbers of Wild Level Clearance.
I think it gives him 8 credits.
Yeah.
It costs 5, gives 8, but now it gives him 8 credits for no cost. It's really obscene how it works
card
together.
draw as well. He at this point he probably can draw his entire deck in his hand. It's like what does he have? 40 cards, right?
One possibility that I see, depending on how many cards that the CI player still has in his deck, is that Kelf just presses R&D really, really hard and makes him draw his entire deck. Because I don't know how many cards Jan has that kind of shuffle cards back into his R&D, preemptive and so on. He might actually deck him, although I think he can probably win before that happens.
I think Jan has some kind of strategy there that he wants to do with those credits that allows him probably to win earlier. So Kelfecil went up to 6 credits. That's really great. He actually made sure that this is actually the amount of credits that you need to have in order to turn off Stanson. Now Stanson is no longer working anymore, but of course the damage has been done right now. And then Jan decides to ice Archives.
Yeah, he does know probably. He knows Constantine well. The two players, like we said, know each other. He knows that Constantine plays Notoriety, which is one of his spicy tags and kind of his signature card.
Mm-hmm.
And if he plays Notoriety and he has a few lucky draws on R&D, he might be able to turn this around, but he kind of ices Archives before that happens just to make it sure that Constantine doesn't get cannot Notoriety too easily.
Okay, now Kelfecil tries to pay off all the effort he put into removing the tags. So now he gets out the bat that we were talking about. Of course, down to 5 credits. So maybe the last click would be nice to click for a credit. Oh, he has to actually discard now. He actually went down to 5, so he gives Jan another opening to Stanson a little bit.
The buff was more expensive because of the scarcity. Otherwise, he could have installed it and still be above 6 credits. But yeah, that scarcity of resources, like he doesn't have that many resources, but it does put in work against so many decks.
Look at what Jan is doing. 2 remote servers right now. So both unknown cards right now. He didn't score the first one, so I guess Jan is like really comfortable just sitting back and waiting for his perfect setup to arrive. All right, so that's going to be a best defense on the SMC.
Might as well in this matchup.
Setting back Kelfecil even more.
Yeah, I assume that at least one of those is an MCA in Austerity.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
what the other one is, I have no idea.
And then icing HQ even more. And then APO.
Getting 13 credits for 1 click, that seems totally fair, doesn't it?
That seems like that's okay.
Seems like an okay play in this case.
Yeah.
At this point, like, if I was Kel, I would also be thinking, like, he's had so many credits. He's had, right now, I'm thinking 20, 30, 40 something, 50 credits.
Yeah.
Like, what is an extra 13 at this point?
I kind of like that Kelf now basically, due to Beth, has like a constant 5 clicks every turn. So that's pretty nice for him. Also, I know that Kelf is... Oh, right. What? Oh, they forgot to actually pay the extra credits for the Beth in the first place. Oh, so it's even worse.
Oh,
they actually
okay.
forgot it. Oh, my gosh.
I thought he did play for it. Yeah, that's very important.
I was
because
also on the
especially
impression.
with Brian Stinson on the board, it actually makes a huge difference.
Okay, so they fix this right now, but of course, this is tough.
It is true. The buff will actually allow him, even if Jan puts a counter on MCA Austerity, he will still be able to click through Fairchild, which is very important.
Jan, oh Jesus! So closed accounts? No, this is closed accounts. No, what is
No, it's not closed accounts. It's
mark accounts.
Yes, exactly.
And so advance at once and remove the 4 remaining credits on Kelfecil's side. Kelfecil will have to click so much to get up to the 6 credits for Stinson. Jan is just like in Tempo Town right now.
Yeah, and he already played so many of his build scripts and process automations. Like, okay, he can get back up to a few credits relatively fast, but I don't know if this is something that he can come back from.
Kelf just clicking for credits. Oof.
Like a peasant.
He's still, that's right, like a peasant. But he has 5 clicks. What did he do for the first click? Did he draw something?
He clicked for. Oh yeah, that's true. What did he do?
Maybe he forgot he has 5 clicks. Or maybe he's thinking he wants to do maybe something. Okay, no.
No,
I don't know. We're gonna have to look.
Did he draw once?
I don't know. And the problem is we don't have the audio, and neither does our audience on a stream. Later on, of course, when we do the VODs, you will hear a little bit of audio from players, and of course we're going to check for all of the misplays that they will be probably making. Recently, we realized that Kelfecil is not the cleanest kind of player when it comes to misplays.
He tends to play relatively fast, especially with people that he knows very well, because I knows that like they will pay attention to what he's doing, but he has been known to sometimes make a misplay, as people are bound to do.
A bit loosey-goosey, yeah. So I think because he's part of Trace 5, we're gonna punish him by making him edit his own videos.
Kind of to scrutinize him a little bit for his misplays.
Just pay attention a little bit.
Oh, we are seeing a score right now?
Yeah, there is.
Oh.
Ooh, and that's a tough one. That's a really tough one.
That's a really tough one.
So that is the elective upgrades, right?
It gives you an extra click if you spend a counter.
And it's also a beefy 3-point agenda. So
it's very beefy.
So if Jan can fast advance the other two and win the game, basically. Okay.
Mother Goddess.
Okay, Kelfecil starts face checking. Mother Goddess stops him dead, and he cannot do anything about this right now. It has no type. It's a mythical one, and that will be very tough for him. He has to make Jan res something else, and then Mother Goddess will acquire its type. He goes with a Deuce's Wild.
Yeah, at this point, either he will have to make Jan rest something else, or he's gonna have to get his AI breaker, which I don't remember what it is.
Could be Divey if he's using stealth.
Yeah,
it's not a bad breaker.
But in that case, he will need another stealth credit, because otherwise he can't
That is absolutely the case. Yes, he only has with a 1 recurring credit on his ID and nothing else. With no way to get the... Oh, that is a net. Oh, there we go. But it's so late, man. The damage has been done. So playing the net celebrity, as he is clearly right now on the stream here. So he has kind of like a recurring credit, but it's not a stealth one.
It's not a stealth credit. That would be amazing in Smoke, but unfortunately it's not. But it's just a way mostly to clear currents away.
Yeah,
and for him to get some value out of it.
Remember back when currents were introduced, like currents like this one, where they weren't as powerful back in the days.
No, they used to be kind of meh, and then Employee Strike came out and Rumor Mill, and then the Corps started playing currents just as a way to deal with the very powerful runner currents that came out.
But even Employee Strike, it took a while for people to warm up to Employee Strike, I feel.
Yeah, I think in the beginning people were like, okay, it cannot be that good. But then once people started playing more, it's like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because there is a Corp equivalent for it as well, Cerebral Static. But that one has never seen as much play as E-Strike.
It might be the case because it's in Jinteki. I think it costs a little bit more influence. I think it's 2 influence, maybe?
It does, and it is more expensive. I think it costs 2 or 3 credits instead of 1 for Employee Strike. Does it just make a huge difference? It's more of a tempo hit.
The thing that really triggered Employee Strike was the CTM stuff, because there was okay, this is a really powerful ID ability, and without it, the game is so much easier. So that was a very good reason to include it. And so if we ever get a runner that has some really powerful abilities on the ID, then we're going to maybe see some Cerebral Static coming back.
And we did see it a few times today. It is restricted now, which means that less people play it than it used to.
Yeah,
but it is amazing in the CI matchup.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who have a restricted card for it decided to play it because it's really good, and it's also good against CTM as well.
Look at this! There's a second hard-hitting news. Ooh.
I really wonder what Jan is gonna do with these tags.
I don't know. Maybe it's just really just slowing him down.
Yeah, it might be if Kelfecil has to spend his entire term clearing those tags, that puts him back at 0 credits, which means that Stinson is again live and able to be used.
What I'm fascinated by is how does Jan not have his winning agendas on hand already? He has so many cards.
There's the Sandberg.
There. Oh, look at this.
Oh.
And then Kelfecil runs on HQ and fits the next bronze, gold, and that is going to be what strength?
It's strength 4, and it does net damage and trash a program for the amount of next ice rest. So it will only do 1 net damage and trash 1 program, but
2, because there's the Mother Goddess as well.
Oh, Mother Goddess! Oh, that's true. Mother Goddess also counts as the next ice. That's really painful.
That's really
it doesn't enter run though, so you can continue.
Oh, that was rough. I think this might be over for Kelfecil right here. If he can recover from this, he is the kind of magician that he always lets us believe that he is. Thinking about if he wants to continue even. Look at his board state. It's like nothing there.
Oh, and the CI as well. Yeah, well, he can click through this, but single accesses against CI, I mean, you have to get extremely lucky. And even if he gets an agenda, like, what will he do after this?
Yeah. With this board state, there's really not much stuff going on. Come on, Kelfecil. Krystian great.
I like how he like shuffled the corpse cards and was like, I'm gonna flip the top card. I'm not even gonna bother with dice or anything.
That's what you do with Yang and CI. It's so difficult to pick one. And the question is now if he wants to trash Stenson. Does he even care? No, he doesn't. He just runs on the remote server, makes Jan erase all the ice. Jan is magically down to just 18 credits.
It's quite unbelievable how he was like at 40 or 50 credits like a few turns ago, and now he's down to 12.
Rough. Oh, everything. Oh, Jesus, back to 0.
Well, he trashes his Bath, and he loses 2 or 3 credits.
Yeah.
And then he will either end run or take a brain damage.
What kind of ice is that? That is which one? Fairchild?
Fairchild 3.0.
3.0. Okay. And
there's the boom.
Even a boom in here.
Yeah.
Oh well, that was a very one-sided game. But I think to me the game was decided kind of in the first turn already when the aggressiveness of Kelfecil kind of fizzled out. And ever since then, it seems like Jan has been just gaining momentum.
That has been kind of a theme with Kelfecil. He has been playing very aggressively, and very often it pays off. It has been paying off against me and some other core players who don't ice up R&D or don't ice it up well enough, and he's been getting agendas left and right. But in this matchup, Jan is not the kind of player who folds and panics as soon as the equivocation comes out, and it rewards him.
Yeah, absolutely. So it seems like it's some kind of sex Panther of Netrunner strategies. 60% of the time, it works every time. On that bombshell, we're going to move on to the second game from the top cut. See you in a second.
Hike the planet! Hike the planet!
Shut up and get in the car!
Shit on me.
Oof.
Rough.